My name is Lena Moore. Just a normal girl. So normal it's almost boring. But if there's one thing that isn't normal, I married Ethan Cole. Yeah, that Ethan Cole. Billionaire CEO, cold, untouchable. The kind of man who can crash the internet with just one photo. And our marriage, it started with a contract. The Cole family had one problem: 9 generations, only one heir per generation. Now Ethan was almost 30, no girlfriend, no rumors, nothing. His mother, Victoria Cole, was losing her mind, so she organized something insane: a selection. Requirements: clean background, healthy body, compatible birth chart, but most important, can give birth. And me? An orphan, no ties, no baggage, perfect health, apparently strong enough to fight a cow. So yeah, I got picked. The contract was simple: get pregnant within 1 year, 100 million yuan, give birth to a son, 1 billion more, plus a luxury penthouse, lifetime wealth. Fail? Take 5 million, leave. I signed it immediately. I mean, it's just having a baby, right? Think of it as the highest paying job in the world. Married life? Strange. We lived like roommates. Ethan in the master bedroom, me in the guest room. We only met on schedule. No emotions, no conversation. The way he looked at me, like I was a very expensive vase that could walk and reproduce. But the real pressure, his mother, every morning, 8 a.m. sharp, she stood by my bed, holding a bowl of dark herbal soup. Lena, drink it while it's hot. This is 100-year-old ginseng, good for fertility. I held my breath, drank it in one go, felt like I might die immediately after. Lunch, a table full of fertility foods, kidney, oyster. At night, foot soak, mugwort. Your body is too cold, we need to warm your womb. I sat there, feet in that weird smelling water, feeling like I was about to be turned into medicine in some ancient furnace. Ethan ignored everything. Honestly, he probably enjoyed the peace. At least his mum wasn't nagging him anymore. And then, 3 months later, my period was late. I stared at the pregnancy test. 2 red lines. Bright. Clear. My hand trembled. Not from happiness. From fear. This was too fast. Way too fast. I hadn't even enjoyed my rich wife life yet, so I hid it. Decided to keep quiet for a few more days. But Victoria's instincts? Terrifying. The next morning, the smell of herbal soup hit me, and my stomach flipped instantly. I ran to the bathroom, barely made it. When I came out, she was already standing there, watching me, staring at my stomach. Lena, her voice shook. Are you? Yeah. No escape now. I took out the test. Slowly. She snatched it, held it under the light, like it was the most valuable thing in the world. 3 seconds. That's all it took. Then, a scream, sharp, loud, almost shattered the windows. The whole house exploded into chaos. Clean the ancestral tablets, call the best nutritionist, bring the jade set, call Ethan home now. I was escorted to the sofa like royalty, pillows under my feet, a Hermes blanket wrapped around me. Fresh fruits from all over the world appeared in seconds. Victoria held my hand, eyes red. Lena, you are the blessing of this family. The way she looked at me now, not a tool, a miracle. That afternoon, Ethan came home. He walked in, stopped, because I was sitting there, like an empress. His mother snapped immediately. Your wife is carrying our heir, and you're still out there doing nothing. He frowned, looked at me, careful, suspicious. I lifted the black card, waved it at him, smiled. His frown deepened. That night, I checked my phone. Bank message, plus 100 million yuan. Just like that. No hesitation. I hugged my phone, rolled on the bed. Okay, I whispered, grinning. For this kind of money, I paused. I can give birth to a whole football team. After that, my life changed completely. Before, I was just a contract wife. Now, I was a treasure, protected, watched, worshipped. If I slept longer, doctor. If I ate the wrong thing, it disappeared forever. If I walked too fast, someone rushed to hold me. Even Ethan got banned. No touching her. What if you hurt my grandchild? So yeah, he got kicked out. We barely saw each other anymore. Sometimes, we passed in the hallway, and the way he looked at me was complicated, maybe even a little pity. But honestly, I didn't care. I was being taken care of, getting paid. Where else can you find a life like this? Only problem, morning sickness. Everything I ate, I threw up. His mother went crazy again. Top chefs, from everywhere. Chinese, French, Japanese, didn't matter. I couldn't eat anything. That night, I was starving, so I snuck into the kitchen, opened the deepest cabinet, and pulled out my secret stash. Spicy sticks. I tore it open. That familiar smell hit me. Spicy, artificial, perfect. I took a deep breath. Finally, I crouched in the corner, eating like my life depended on it. Then, the light turned on. I froze. That was the biggest social death of my life. The air froze. For 3 full seconds, I saw Ethan's lips twitch. His expression shifted from shock to pure disbelief, maybe even judgment. What are you eating? His voice was low, confused. I reacted instantly, shoved the rest of the spicy stick into my mouth, chewed, swallowed, wiped my lips like nothing happened. Nothing, just hungry. I said it straight-faced, like a liar with confidence. His eyes dropped to the packaging in my hand. Bright, obvious, no escape. This was probably the first time a man like him had ever seen junk food. The chefs here aren't enough for you? He asked. I sighed. Fine. Truth it is, I'm not used to all that fancy food. I just want something with flavor. His expression? Impossible to read. A man who eats Michelin-level meals every day probably couldn't understand why someone would choose cheap, spicy snacks at midnight. I thought he'd lecture me, like his mother would, but he didn't. He just stared at me for a moment, then turned, opened the fridge, took out a bottle of cold milk. For the spice, he handed it to me, calm. I froze for a second, then took it. Thanks. If you want to eat it, just eat. Don't hide. And then he walked away. Just like that, I stood there, holding the milk. Something felt strange. This cold, distant CEO might not be as heartless as I thought. The next morning, I woke up and froze. On my bedside table was a whole box, spicy sticks, every flavor. Next to it, a note, his handwriting, sharp, clean. I had the kitchen, check them. No harmful additives. Eat less. I stared at it. Then, I laughed. Okay, that was cute. 3 months later, it was finally time. My first official checkup. And somehow, Victoria was even more nervous than me. The entire mansion was cleaned and sterilized the day before. For the baby, she said. Perfect environment. The next day, it looked like a presidential convoy. 3 black Rolls-Royces. Security lined up. She personally opened the car door for me, even covered my head, like I might bump into something. Ethan was dragged back from work, sitting next to me, looking like a man who had lost all will to live. At the hospital, the director himself was waiting, with a line of specialists. Mrs. Cole, Mr. Cole, Mrs. Cole, this way please. Honestly, it looked like a state visit. I was taken into a VIP room, best ultrasound doctor in the city. Victoria and Ethan stood beside me, both staring at the screen, more nervous than I was. At first, the doctor looked relaxed. Heartbeat is stable. Development looks good. Victoria clasped her hands, whispering thanks to heaven. But then, the doctor frowned. He scanned again, and again, zoomed in. His expression changed, relaxed, to serious, to shocked. The room went silent, only the machine beeping. Victoria panicked. Doctor, is something wrong? He didn't answer. Took off his glasses, rubbed his eyes, put them back on, stared at the screen again. My heart dropped. Don't tell me something's wrong. What about my money? Even Ethan noticed. His voice turned cold. Doctor, what is it? Finally, the doctor looked up, his eyes full of disbelief. He raised one finger. 1, Victoria exhaled. 1 is fine. 1 is enough. He shook his head, raised another finger. 2, her eyes lit up. Twins? That's amazing. He shook his head again. His face turned pale, raised a third finger. 3, Victoria gasped, clapped her hands. 3, triple blessing. I looked at the doctor. He looked like he might cry. Something felt very wrong. Then, he took a deep breath and raised a fourth finger. His voice trembled. Mrs. Cole, Mr. Cole, Mew, hit the jackpot. Quadruplets, all boys. Boom. My brain exploded. Victoria froze, completely. Ethan, the man who never showed emotion, cracked. He stared at the screen, then at my stomach, like I wasn't human anymore. The doctor collapsed into his chair, muttering, 30 years, first time, silence, dead silence. Then, Victoria moved, slowly, step by step. She reached toward my stomach, but didn't dare touch it. Her eyes were filled with something insane. Joy, shock, fear, worship. She almost dropped to her knees. You, her voice shook, you are the ancestor of the Cole family reborn. After that, my status, no longer a treasure, I became a god. The way she looked at me wasn't like a daughter-in-law anymore, more like a walking miracle, a money-printing machine, a living blessing. She even placed a huge ancestral tablet outside my bedroom, burned incense, every morning, every night. No name on it, but we all knew it was for me. That imperial jade set, straight onto my neck, heavy, ridiculous. She said, "This protects the babies." I felt like a monk carrying sacred scriptures. Overnight, all of Ethan's properties transferred to my name. Stacks of documents, endless. "Pick whichever you like," she said. "Live anywhere, or tear it down and rebuild. 10% of the company shares, also mine." The day I signed, Ethan's face was priceless. A lifetime empire, gift-wrapped to a woman he'd known for less than a year. Just because I could give birth better. This world was insane. My pregnancy life? Luxury beyond reason. Strawberries from another country, delivered in 2 hours. Want a concert? A private orchestra. Want to watch stars? A telescope worth millions. I pointed at one star, just casually. The next day, a document arrived. The Lena star, officially named. What? At this rate, I might as well replace the sun. Of course, there was one problem. I got fat, very fat. My belly grew faster than I expected. By late pregnancy, I felt like a flipped turtle. Every night, Ethan came to my room, not by choice, forced. "Read to the babies," his mother said. "Prenatal education." So every night, 9 p.m., the cold CEO sat beside my bed, holding a fairy tale book, reading in the flattest tone possible, and they lived happily ever after. He closed the book, stared at my stomach, silent. In his eyes, I saw it, confusion, fear. Maybe he was imagining life with 4 little devils. I couldn't help it. I laughed. "Mr. Cole," I teased, "what should we name them?" His face stiffened. "My mother will decide." "No fun," I said, thinking. "How about 1, 2, 3, 4? Easy to remember." His eye twitched. "Or storm, rain, thunder, lightning. Sounds powerful." His jaw tightened. "Or east, south, west, north. Enough, enough," he snapped, through clenched teeth. I burst out laughing. Ten months later, it was time. The day I was pushed into the delivery room, the entire hospital was locked down. Outside, Victoria was pacing like crazy, muttering non-stop. Ethan stood frozen against the wall, face pale, whiter than the wall itself. Inside, I felt like I was dying. Outside, they weren't doing much better. Later, the butler told me what happened. The first baby came out. A nurse rushed out. "Congratulations! A healthy baby boy!" Victoria almost shoved a red envelope worth 100,000 yuan into her hands. The second baby, another nurse ran out. "Another boy!" Victoria had already started calling relatives. The third baby, the nurse looked numb. Still a boy. Victoria dropped her phone, held onto the wall, barely standing. Then, the fourth baby. The nurse looked exhausted. Also a boy. Victoria rolled her eyes and fainted on the spot. The hallway exploded into chaos. When I was finally wheeled out, that's what I saw. My mother-in-law, half conscious, being revived. Ethan holding her, staring at 4 cribs. His eyes, empty, like his soul had left his body. I weakly raised my hand. The babies, they're okay, right? Everyone turned to me. The next second, Victoria woke up, broke free, rushed to me, grabbed my hand, crying uncontrollably. Lena, my good daughter-in-law, the hero of our family, you've suffered, she cried like the world was ending. I looked at the 4 wrinkly little babies, lying side by side, and I had only one thought. My money, secured. No, not 10 billion anymore, 40 billion, plus 4 luxury apartments. During recovery, I lived like an empress. Victoria quit everything, stayed home, focused on one thing, taking care of me and the babies. At first, she was obsessed. Oh, look at him. This nose, just like Ethan. Oh, this one's eyes are so bright. This one looks like you. This one is so well behaved. Every day, she kissed them, praised them, smiled non-stop. Ethan tried to be a good father. He learned to change diapers, ended up putting one on the baby's head. He tried feeding milk, spilled half of it all over his $1 million suit. He tried holding them. All 4 started crying instantly, loud, non-stop, like surround sound. 3 days later, this cold CEO was destroyed, dark circles, exhausted, soulless. And that was just the beginning. 1 year later, the Cole mansion was no longer peaceful. It became a battlefield, a daycare from hell. My 4 sons, east, south, west, north. Yes, I insisted on those names. They evolved from babies into 4 crawling disasters. Wherever they went, nothing survived. An antique vase, smashed. Rare books, chewed. My luxury lipstick, used as crayons. All over a $1 million sofa. And the quiet one? North, the most dangerous. He learned how to unlock things. One day, he opened Ethan's safe and used confidential documents as diapers. When Ethan saw it, he froze, standing at the door, looking at the mess, and his 4 sons, sitting in the middle of destruction, smiling at him. He forced a smile, worse than crying. Victoria, no longer elegant. Hair messy. Running around with bottles and diapers. Don't climb that. That's your dad's shoe. Don't eat it. Get off the wall. You're not Spider-Man. She screamed until her voice broke. Lost weight. The pride she once had, gone. Now, just exhaustion. And maybe a little regret. And me? I slept, woke up naturally, drank coffee on the balcony, watching the chaos below. Sometimes, I even live-streamed it. Ethan, covered in milk and baby food, reading financial reports to 4 screaming kids. The family group chat went from envy to pure entertainment. And me? I blocked everyone, except Ethan and his mother. I watched them suffer and laughed. Honestly, without these 4, life would be boring. Sometimes, I felt a little guilty, like when Ethan was about to lose his mind. I stepped in, picked up 2 kids, pulled them away. Give your dad a break. The way he looked at me, like I was a savior. One time, he asked me, voice hoarse, Lena, what were you thinking? Back then, I knew what he meant. I shrugged, holding the kids. Nothing. If I do something, I just do it right. He went silent. Yeah, 5-star work ethic. And then, something unexpected happened. One day, I felt off, sleepy, no appetite, nauseous. My heart dropped. No way. I locked myself in the bathroom, took out a test. 2 lines. Again, I froze. Again, last time was an accident. This time, what is this? Workplace hazard? Wait, oh right, last month, his birthday, his mother kindly let him back into the bedroom, just one night. And, direct hit? What is he, a sniper rifle? I stared at the test, like it was burning my hand. If his mother found out, I didn't even want to imagine it, so I hid it, played dead, but my body betrayed me. The next morning, at breakfast, I saw braised pork and gagged. Everything stopped. Victoria froze, spoon dropped, Ethan froze, mid-action. Even the kids stopped moving. The entire room, silent. She slowly looked at me, then at my stomach. Her eyes were no longer excited. They were terrified, like she had just seen a ghost. Lena, her voice trembled. I sighed, took out the test, placed it on the table. It was an accident. She stared at the 2 red lines. 3 seconds. No screaming, no fainting. She stood up slowly, looked at the 4 chaotic kids, then at my stomach, then at Ethan. The fear in her eyes turned into pure rage. Ethan Cole. The roar shook the house. She grabbed a feather duster and charged. Didn't I tell you to stay away from her? Didn't I tell you to sleep in the living room? You animal, are you trying to kill your wife? Flour isn't enough for you. You want to destroy this entire house. She chased him, across the dining room, into the living room, out to... I looked at Victoria. She was furious. Honestly, I almost laughed, but I didn't dare. Mum, it's already happened. There's no point talking about this now. Who says there's no point? She suddenly sat up straight, eyes sharp, decisive. There is a way. My heart skipped. Wait, she's not thinking. Lena, she grabbed my hand. Serious, like negotiating a $1 billion deal. You and Ethan get a divorce. What? I blinked. Did I hear that right? The same woman who forced me to have children now wanted me to leave. Mum, what did you say? I said divorce. She was firm. Don't worry. This is not your fault. This is our fault. She pulled out a document, slapped it on the table. The 4 kids stay with the Cole family. They lose nothing. Another file. This is compensation. 10 billion. Already transferred. Another one. Divorce settlement. 20% company shares. Land in the East District. Overseas islands. All yours. Another pause. The baby in your stomach. If you want to keep it, we'll support you. If not, her voice softened. I will find the best doctors. You won't suffer. I stared at the mountain of documents. My brain stopped working. What kind of plot twist is this? The same person who pushed me to give birth, now pushing me to leave, and giving me more money. Mum, why are you doing this? She sighed, looked upstairs. At the 4 little disasters. Look at them. 4 is already enough to destroy a life. If you have another, what if it's twins again, or triplets? Her voice rose. Ethan's genes are too strong. She'll become a living baby machine. I can't be that selfish. I won't ruin your life for this family. She held my hand tight. For the first time, not greedy, not obsessed, just worried. I looked at her, then at the documents, wealth beyond imagination, and suddenly, I hesitated. This marriage, should I end it? Honestly, divorcing felt like an upgrade. The news spread instantly, and of course, someone showed up. Chloe Cole, Ethan's cousin, my biggest hater. She walked in, smiling sweetly. Cousin-in-law, I heard you're getting divorced. Such a pity. Yeah, right. Her eyes were glowing. But honestly, a woman should think for herself. She adjusted her necklace. Let it shine. After you leave, I'll take good care of Ethan and Aunt Victoria. Translation, hurry up and leave. Your spot is mine. I smiled, picked up a property certificate, used it as a fan. Oh really? Then I'll have to thank you. Then I picked up the share agreement, held it under the light. But I have a problem. I can't decide. I pushed everything toward her. So much money, so many houses, so many shares. If I really divorce, how am I supposed to spend it all? I'm just one person. I can't finish it. Such a headache. Her smile froze. She stared at the documents, eyes turning red. She worked her whole life for crumbs. And me, a divorced woman, getting everything. That's impossible, she snapped. Why would Aunt give you this much? I tilted my head, smiled innocently. Maybe because I'm pretty. Or, I paused, because I'm very good at giving birth. She trembled, speechless. I took a sip of bird's nest soup, added one more hit. Oh, and she said she might give me Ethan's limited edition cars too, for emotional support. Her face, red, purple, white. Then, she fainted. Just like that. I shook my head. Too weak. That much money, and she couldn't handle it. 3 days later, Ethan got out. The moment he heard about the divorce, he rushed to my room. Eyes dark, hair messy, suit wrinkled, but his eyes, burning. Lena, you're not leaving, I blinked, still wearing a face mask, watching a movie. Why are you yelling? You can't take that money. We're not divorcing. I slowly peeled off the mask, sat up. Why not? Your mum gave it to me. And who are you to decide if I divorce? He froze. Yeah, what right did he have? We were just a contract. He looked at me. Something in his eyes cracked. We talked about this, he said. Talked about what? We have kids. Etmains, FOOR, and another one coming. We're their parents. I laughed. Mr. Cole, our contract said I'd give birth. It never said I couldn't leave after. I walked closer, looked at him, the way he used to look at me, cold, detached. I have completed the job, overachieved actually. Now I take the money and leave. Win-win. Is not that what you wanted? With every word, his face turned paler. Because it was true. That was exactly what he wanted at the beginning. But somewhere along the way, things changed. The chaos, the laughter, the noise, the woman who turned his world upside down. He got used to her, needed her, and now she was leaving. Lena, he reached out, voice low, almost begging. Don't go, okay? I looked at him. Give me a reason. He choked, face red. Then finally, shouted, I like you. Silence. He froze. I froze. The mighty CEO just confessed, like a kid. I looked at him, his ears red, his face stiff, and I couldn't help it. I laughed. Ethan's confession hit me like a stone breaking the surface of still water. Ripples, one after another. Honestly, saying I felt nothing would be a lie. He was handsome, rich, and now completely obedient to me. Other than being a little slow sometimes, he was basically a perfect husband. But then, I thought about the money, billions, waiting for me, and suddenly, my heart wavered. Love? What is that? Money is forever. So, I decided to mess with him. I cleared my throat, put on a professional face. Mr. Cole, love doesn't fill your stomach. What your mother offered, that is real money. He panicked instantly. I'll give you double. Oh? Now this got interesting. She gave me 20% of the company. You'll give me 40%? I tilted my head, smiling. What will you have left then? He froze, speechless. Yeah, he only controlled 51%. Give me 40, and he'd basically fire himself. I watched him struggle, and honestly, I was enjoying this. All right, I said casually. I'll give you a chance. His eyes lit up. What chance? From now until the baby is born. If you can make me happy, I'll consider not divorcing. How do I do that? I smiled. Slowly, dangerously, simple. First, you take care of all 4 kids. Your mother is old. She needs rest. And I placed a hand on my belly. I'm pregnant. I need rest too. His face turned pale. Okay. Second, everything I want. You do it. If I want tofu from East Street, you don't bring it from West Street. If I want a midnight movie, you do it. If I want tofu from East Street, you don't bring it from West Street. If I want a midnight movie, you go with me. His face got even paler. No problem. Lastly, I looked straight at him. The most important one. You convince your mother to agree that we don't divorce. This time, all the blood drained from his face. Taking care of 4 devils. Possible. Handling his mother. That was mission impossible. Well, I can. And just like that, his life began. A mix of desperate husband and full-time dad. Every day, 6 a.m., woken up by 4 crying kids, 1 in each arm, bottle in his mouth, dodging flying toys, morning, parenting class, getting laughed at by toddlers, no mercy, no dignity. Lunch, he tried cooking, burned, too salty, inedible, rejected by all 4 kids. Afternoon, park time, 1 second of distraction, 4 kids, 4 directions, and him, running like his life depended on it. At night, finally got them to sleep, then came to my room, massaging, joking, trying to make me laugh. Day by day, he looked worse. Dark circles, exhausted, broken. And I was thriving. But the best part? Him versus his mother. Every time he tried to enter my room, she blocked the door. Where are you going? She needs rest. I just want to see her. No, I'm afraid she'll get pregnant again just by seeing you. Forza She doesn't need anything. Stay away from her. Stay away from her. He even tried bribing the staff. They all betrayed him, avoided him like a ghost. The once untouchable heir, now ranked lower than a dog. And yet, he didn't give up. Sneaking flowers under the door, hiding love notes in my food, even flying a drone outside my window with a heart-shaped cake, shot down by his mother with a water gun. Failure, again, and again, and again. And somewhere along the way, I realized something. I might actually like this idiot. Time passed. My belly grew bigger. Another checkup. This time, his mother refused to let him come. You're bad luck. Stay away from her. At the hospital, same doctor. He looked at me, like I was family, but also terrified. We waited. Seconds felt like hours. Finally, he put the scanner down, smiled, relieved. This time, just 1. Victoria almost cried. Thank God, 1 is enough. Then, she hesitated. Boy or girl? She said it calmly, but I knew, after 4 boys, she wanted a girl. Desperately. The doctor smiled, pointed at the screen. Congratulations. It's a girl. Boom. Her world exploded. But this time, from joy. A girl, my granddaughter? She trembled. Then, cried. Louder than ever before. I finally have a granddaughter. My little princess. She hugged me, laughing, crying, like a child. On the way home, she held my hand the entire time. You're a blessing. No, a living miracle. Everything must be pink. Dresses, hair clips, shoes. She forgot everything, including the divorce. When we got home, Ethan was already waiting, anxious, like a statue. The moment he saw us, he ran over. How is it? His mother snorted. You got lucky, and walked away. He looked at me, confused. I smiled, mouthed 2 words. It's a girl. He froze. Then, his face broke into the dumbest smile I had ever seen. He jumped, actually jumped. I have a Dartha, he ran to me, picked me up, spun me around. Lena, thank you. I love you so much. Under the sunlight, his eyes shined brighter than the stars. I wrapped my arms around his neck, laughing. Maybe not divorcing wasn't such a bad choice. After all, where else could I find a lifetime provider who